What do you make of Graham Wallace's appointment?
Well, he's got a very good pedigree in sport and in business, so I think that looking to bring in someone who's got a lot of experience and someone who can maybe make the transformational changes that are required at Rangers going forward.
What do Rangers actually need in a CEO, and what would be top of his agenda?
Well, the top of his agenda is obviously to put strategy in place whereby the club can be run on a proper financial basis. I think that one of the big problems I've had, and even my understanding is continue to have, is the fact that even though a lot of money came in from the share launch, that money's being heavily spent, and the club needs to be run on a basis that, like any business, and as I say, he's got a lot of business experience. Graham Wallace, he has to run the club on the basis that they're not going to get into financial difficulty and require to go into the situation where they were in the last couple of years.
Well, the confusing thing is, Gordon, there is a possibility that he might only be in the job for the short term because the AGM is only 29 days away. If that's the case, why make this appointment now?
I think my understanding would be, and as I say, I don't know fully, but I think what's happened is the people who are currently running the club want to try and show that they are putting a strategy in place to bring in stability, bring in leadership into the club at this moment, because if it had gone to the AGM in a month's time, some of the questions might have been, well, what have you been doing to that extent? You know, you haven't got a chief executive officer. They've just recently brought in a chairman as well. David Summers has come in as a chairman. So what they would need to do, what they're trying to show when they go to the AGM is, because there's going to be some basically strong questioning getting put in place, and there are factions who really want to take over the club. We need to find out from that AGM who actually will have the majority of the shares that will allow them to run the club going forward, whether it will be the current people who are there or new directors and new owners. But what they think they're trying to show is the fact that even though there's a month to it, they're trying to show that they are already putting things in place so that when it comes to the AGM, they can make that statement going forward by saying, well, we've appointed someone, we've appointed a very, very strong chief executive, which means that they're putting things in the proper manner within place, because if they hadn't done that, I'm sure they would have been questioned on it.
Well, Gordon, finally on this subject, how much credit does Ali McCoist deserve for his work, given all the off-field activity in the recent months?
Yeah, it's amazing what he's had to deal with. Not recent months, it's like recent years now, because there's been a lot of instability at the club, and that's what requires to change, and that's what needed for the team. But at the moment, the team in recent seasons, I mean, last season they won fairly comfortably the division they were in, and this season it's the same again. So what he's got to do, Ali McCoist, is build the team going forward so that as the club gets stable and gets better run, then the football team is ready to go into the higher league when they finally get the chance to get back into the Premiership and can compete in that league.